Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review and demo of the Lorac Mega Pro 3 palette, and I got this I think Tuesday or Wednesday of this week, and since I am a platinum member at Ulta, I was afforded early access to it, so I picked it up the day that they released it, and it came just a couple days later, and yeah, I've been using it every day since so that I could give you guys a little review of it. And this palette is $59 and it comes in this box. And I don't know why Lorac does this. Like, this box is like 3 times as thick as the palette itself. There's nothing in it, which is one thing with the regular Pro palettes because they generally come with like the eyeshadow primer or whatever, but this doesn't come with anything, but it still comes in a box that's way too big for what it is. And I always think that's weird because the last two did as well, and I just don't understand why they do that. So you can see, like, this is the palette and there's just nothing in there, and I don't know why. So it just seems like a waste, you know, of cardboard, but it is limited edition, and it does seem like Ulta is doing the same kind of job they did with the Pro 2, the Mega Pro 2, in that they seem to have a pretty decent supply. It has not sold out yet, which I know they did a great job when the Pro 2 came out, and I think that was basically in a major response to how poorly the first one was released. The first one was only released on the Lorac website and on Amazon, and it was a shit show, and it sold out in like an hour, and everybody was super pissed off about it, and yeah, I don't know, it was not good. So you get 32 shadows in this palette, and just like the other two Mega Pro palettes, the top 2 rows are matte and the bottom 2 rows are shimmery. That's been the same type of thing they do in the regular Pro palettes as well. It's usually the top row is matte and the bottom row is shimmer, but since there is double, you get double the rows. So this one is very much fall colors. I think it's a great time to release this palette. It's got a really nice selection of warm browns and purples and like winey, rusty fall colors in it, and so far I have been really liking it. I have said in multiple videos that these shadows are my favorite formula. The Pro formula from Lorac is my favorite formula of eyeshadows. I don't care that it kicks up a lot of products because I find that they blend amazingly and the pigmentation is amazing and they last throughout the day, and I never have to worry about these shadows. The one thing that I will say about this palette, solely this palette, I almost stuck my fingernail in there. When I was using it the first day, I had fallout, which has like never really happened to me with these shadows before. Like, I looked down and I was like, oh shit, you know, and I had to wipe away fallout from underneath my eyes. You know, I wasn't used to that, and since then I've had to be cognizant of that, so I'm more careful with my application, and I'm not sure why that is with this palette. Again, I've never really had that problem with these shadows where I have to be careful. I think that the color payoff and the blendability and everything else makes up for it. I still don't, like, it's not deterring me from using this palette. I actually have gotten other eyeshadow palettes in since I got this one, and I don't want to use them yet because I want to keep using this one. I've been reaching for it every day, just not for the sake of this video, but just because I want to put it on my face. So, you know, in terms of do you really need another neutral palette or whatever, maybe not, but like, I am 100% not sad that I bought this. I don't care if I have colors that are dupable because this formula is so good, and I don't care that you know, the colors might be considered boring, because they're things that I will wear every day. I will continue to reach for this palette, and yeah, I don't want to use anything else. So I am going to show you a comparison between this and the Lorac Mega Pro 2. I did get the Mega Pro 1 when it came out. I was one of the people who managed to grab it on Amazon the second time they released it, which was still a shit show. But when I visited Chanel, I gave it to her because she was still so upset that she had missed out on it the first time. And, you know, I have so many shadow palettes, and since I had the 2 already, I gave her that one because the warm colors in that palette definitely would suit her skin tone better than the ones in the 2, the Mega Pro 2. So I kept the 2 since those colors suit me better and gave her the first one because they suit her better. But I can at least show you the difference between these 2 palettes. And I know that the major complaint about the first palette was that it seemed like all the colors were sort of the same, and I don't feel that way with this palette. Some of you might feel that way, but I don't. But this is the 2 of them. God, they're so big. That's what she said. But this is the 2 of them together, and I think they're different enough to be okay with owning both of them. I also think that they complement each other quite well. There's some purples in the Mega Pro 2 that I think would go beautifully with some of the colors in the Mega Pro 3. So I think, you know, if you have the 2, I still would get the 3. If you're into the formula and you like the brand and all that, like this, you know, I'm not gonna say that you shouldn't get this palette. I don't really think there's a reason not to, unless you are just so totally swamped with neutral palettes and don't care and don't like their Lorac formula. Then yeah, skip it. But if you like this, I think it's definitely worth picking up, and I think you will be happy with it. And just like in the 2, and I believe the 1, but I'm not quite sure, you get 0.45 ounces or 12.8 grams of product in this. That is 0.4 grams per shadow. And so I think, you know, in terms of some of these like companies who release palettes like this over and over again, often the total amount of shadows you get seems to decrease as the years go by and the price seems to go up. And I haven't found that to be the case with Lorac. Again, I don't have the first one in front of me to tell you if those grams are the same, but I can tell you that at least these 2 years in a row, they are the same. And so I don't feel like I'm being gypped. I think $59 for a palette with 32 shadows is a deal. And I, you know, again, I'm trying to like be objective and neutral, but like I don't think it's a bad idea to get this palette. I think you're getting your money's worth. I think, you know, for all these shadows, you're not gonna necessarily, it's not like a palette with 5 shadows you're paying $60 for that you might feel like you're gonna go through in a year or whatever. Like, these will last you for a long time. In terms of the pigmentation and what I have come to expect from Lorac, I think this matches up. I know that some people complained about the pigmentation in the 2, which I did also find to be a little weird on some of them, but so far every single one I've used has been great and easy to blend, and the pigmentation has lasted from the time I put it on until the time I take it off. And I can't complain about any of these shadows. And some of these don't look like much in the pan, and then when I put them on my eyeball, I'm just like, oh wow. And that rings true, especially this cider color here. Is what is all over my lid today, and when I was applying it I was like, oh whoa, because it came out so much more vibrant on my eyelid than I thought it was going to because of what it looks like in the pan. Even this one, Dark Roast down here, I was wearing this in my favorites video, I believe, and I was just like blown away by how it looked on the lid. I think it is just stunning, and I am, again, not sad that I bought it. I think it's a plus. Every single color I try, I'm happy with, and I think there is only a handful that I haven't dipped my brush in yet. I am gonna insert the clip of the demo for what I did for this look, and I started off with the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, and then I set that with Pink Cream and Crepe. I mixed those together and put those all over the lid. And then I went in with my Morphe M511 and blended Toffee into my crease. And then I went in with my Sigma E25 and blended Cider all over the lid. And then I went in with my Morphe M516 brush and I blended maple into the outer third of my lid and then into the crease. And I took a mixture of maple and bark and blended those onto the lower lash line. I took a mixture of snow and kava and I put that on the inner corner to highlight. I took my Marc Jacobs highliner in Rococo and I tightlined and put that in my waterline, and then I also put that on the upper lash line. And then I went in with my Cocoa Lashes 501 lashes and then put on my Maybelline Colossal Spider Effect mascara. Yeah, I guess the only real negative I could say about this palette is I don't know if I would travel with it unless you're like in a car traveling and it's a short trip kind of thing. I don't know if I would feel comfortable putting this in my suitcase to take on a plane somewhere. With how haphazardly your suitcases are handled, I think that these shadows are so soft that would end up being a disaster. And so I wouldn't chance it because I love these shadows and I would hate to get to my destination and open up my bag and just like cry because it had broken everywhere. So that would probably be the one thing that I would say against these palettes. I have traveled. I did go to Disney World with the Pro one, not the Mega Pro one, but the regular one, and that was okay, but it was a smaller thing that I could put sandwiched between other palettes that I took. I think this one being so large would be hard to really put between other things of its size so that I wouldn't have to worry about it breaking, if that makes sense. And you might be able to travel with it and get totally away with it and nothing happen and everything else, but it's just something that comes to mind. I am going to Aruba in January and already thinking about what I'm going to bring with me, which is probably going to be minimal because we'll be at the beach the whole time, but still. So yeah, that's my review of this. I think it is totally worth it, and I think if you get it, you will enjoy it. If it's going to be the very first ever thing by Lorac you ever buy ever, I would try to get into an Ulta if they're available around you to at least touch it before so you know what you're getting into. Like I've said, they are very soft shadows, so they do kick up a lot of product, and some people totally hate that, and I get it. It's fine. I am like that person who I hate the Urban Decay ones because I think they're too hard. So, you know, it's just a personal preference thing, what I like working with more and what you like working with more. But if you have the other palettes and you enjoy them, I think you'll really enjoy this one. So anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling now because this video is gonna be like 10,000 years long. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and please subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope you're having a great day wherever you're at, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.